Alright, so we are live and ready to rock. My name is Frank. I am casting with you, Mr. Spuddington, on behalf of the CSL and the Azubu Collegiate Champions here. We are piecing together Collegiate esports one game at a time, one casted week at a time, and we are both ready to rock into game 2. Just waiting for our good friend, Mr. Sally Desu, to give us the countdown. We're paused at 5 seconds. And ready to rock. Wentworth taking game 1 pretty impressively there. Actually gained an advantage and very slowly manipulated it so that they were able to trounce down on Georgia Tech, and they ended up taking that one pretty nicely there. But we're going to move on to game 2 here, and Sally should be giving us a countdown.
A second now.
3. Wait. Okay. 3. Wait, no, that doesn't work.
Pause that 5 seconds.
33.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, and we're ready to rock. Thank you, Mr. Sally Desu. Always lovely to hear your voice on stream here. All right, so we have on the bottom left in the blue side is going to be Georgia Tech. Top right, purple side is going to be Wentworth here on Wentworth. See Steve back onto Amumu here, not banning that one out. You've got the case on Tarek as well, but the rest of the team is changed up. Tater Tot's going to be running Draven, Zigalo on Vlad, and Stumpy Uppy has moved from Shen onto Jace.
The Jace pick. Jace is probably one of the few top laners that can really deal with Jax almost all game, essentially. He has that knockback ability on his hammer is essentially the method he uses to counter Jax, because every time Jax tries to leap strike and counter strike in on him, he can simply knock him back instantly, and that will, you know, really ruin his ability to actually be aggressive in the lane. Because what Jax likes to do is he likes to get on you, counter strike, stick to you, do a lot of damage very quickly, but obviously if he's knocked away he can't even get his attack speed steroid going. He's just going to be a much reduced threat, and early on he's going to suffer from that problem that he has against all ranged opponents like you know, Nidalee and Jace and Kayle and everyone else, in that he will be poked down and be forced to be denied farm like that.
Yeah, that's good, very good analysis there. And actually, top lane I want to say is probably the most kind of complex matchup, because they are going to be up there so often, and that's the things you got to look at, because the junglers essentially after a certain point they don't want to go top anymore, because as soon as the jungler heads top, that's going to be a pretty fair opportunity for the enemy jungler to pick up that dragon or start making plays elsewhere, and you definitely don't want that to be happening so freely. But it looks like Jax actually taking that Wraith camp away from the Amumu. Really good start. Always a good play for your top lane to do something like that if the champion has the tankiness and the just kind of quick striking ability to take out a Wraith like that. And you can see here Jewel Bagel moving up there. Really doesn't have too much HP or mana missing, and whatever is missing is just going to regenerate over the next second or so. So not bad there. But what do you think about this Diana versus Vlad matchup? I personally absolutely despise playing against Diana as any character. I think she's super tanky, and she's, if you build her properly anyways, and she's just so hard to take down. So what do you think about this matchup though?
It's going to be... I don't think Vlad has the early damage to poke her down, but at the same time I don't think she has the means to close in on him and take him down early. So for the, you know, up until at least level 6, it'll probably be mostly a farm lane, discounting jungler interaction. I feel like Probo coming in right now with a twist of advance roots him in spite of the pool, and he's going to have to flash out of that. So, like I say, right now, this is a lane that's quite dependent on jungler interaction. If the jungler ganks, both of them do have enough tools to follow up. I think maybe Diana will be superior in terms of helping Maokai to gank Vlad than Vlad will be in helping Amumu to gank. But yeah, that's gonna be mostly a farm lane up until level 6. Once it hits 6, I suspect Diana will start to take a lead, because she'll be able to simply if she lands even a single Crescent Strike onto Vlad, she's going to be able to follow that up with at least one guaranteed do the rush hit. And actually right now we have Steve going in the bot. Wow, Maokai following up as well. Tarek's stun goes down onto Maokai, not going to be able to survive that, and is going to go down as well. Yeah, sorry, I was caught a little off guard by that.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice counter gank there from Maokai. Azubu was spotted coming down by that ward that was placed up so highly, and it kind of looked like Taric was baiting the Ezreal to come towards that top brush and attack him. Actually, lots of action happening across here. Before I finish that thought, looks like Chrysanthos is going to flash forward onto Zigalo here, and now it's going to be a lot of summoners are going to be missing from this middle lane. Flash is down from the for Diana, but Flash and Ignite down for Zigalo here on Vlad, so not bad there. But yeah, in that bottom lane, I just kind of want to analyze that for another couple seconds here. Taric moved up towards that brush, and he really wanted the Ezreal to follow him in there, which he did, but Maokai kind of like, it was like a counter.
Maokai, meanwhile,
Looks
flashing
like
into mid onto Zigalo, who pulled out of it, but he's not going to be able to get away, but he is. They're not going to follow up. Chrysanthos is out of mana, and CST being really aggressive onto Probo, just landing a bit of damage. And feel free to finish your thought now.
Oh, no, I'm done. I was actually going to go off on that as well, so I'm glad you caught that. But, yeah, so now this mid lane is extremely hostile here. It looks like Chrysanthos, though, is just going to push this out and then go back. As you can tell, she used her last bit of mana there on the shield, which she has 2 points in and 0 points in her Moonfall. So, I don't know if that's necessarily the right call. Her Moonfall is a really good ability for finishing up kills, especially against somebody like Vlad, who does not want to be anywhere near a character like Diana. So, I don't know if that's the right call, but either way, that's going to be a lot of damage and a lot of pushing power coming out of her W and Q combination.
I suspect it's purely a sustain thing. She needed the ability to clear waves against Vlad, and she needed the ability to sustain against his damage, which is now starting to ramp up to a point where it's going to be difficult for her to simply use a level 1 Pale Cascade to withstand it. So she's probably taken that. I am a little surprised though. I would have been more expecting her to simply forego a point in Crescent Strike and put more points into Pale Cascade. As it happens though, I can see why. I expect she'll pick up Moonfall at level 7 though. I'd be very surprised if she doesn't bother with that even then. Because yeah, it is essentially hard CC on demand followed up by some soft CC, and it's AoE. It really works well with the rest of her kit. It holds them in place for those empowered auto attacks. It's, you know, it's a key part of how you play Diana.
Yeah, and another key part is definitely tankiness, which you can see she is following up with here. She's got 168 extra HP coming out of those Doran's rings. She did burn quite a bit of mana there as soon as she got back to lane, so she's down to about half here, which is never a good thing against a character like Vlad, who can just sit there and sustain, doesn't need to worry about mana. And basically, she's going to be looking to burst him down, I think. I can't really imagine her going about this any other way, and you know, the conversation about that Moonfall could just go on forever, because it really is that kind of that jump and burst kind of thing, which we might actually be seeing here top lane in a second, as Probo is just kind of chilling out there. He's waiting for the creep wave to be pushed down just enough. That frontal minion needs to get picked off, and Jewelbag not doing the right thing. There we go, he finally picks it off. This is going to allow Probo to move forward here and potentially pick up a kill under tower. Stumpy Uppy still does have his Flash Ignite, and he's got that knockback online like we were mentioning earlier. Probo really patiently waiting this one out. Meanwhile, some aggression happening bottom lane as well, but I cannot take my eyes off of the tension that's happening here. Probo now level 6. It's going to enable that tower dive to be a lot stronger here and negate a lot of that damage. I'm waiting for him to make his move. He's gaining a lot of experience here, and I think Jace needs to know that something's going on here as he hits level 7 before Jewelbag.
Meanwhile, at bot actually, we've got the case going in on Lulu with his flash shatter. Didn't even bother using shatter. And the ultimate follow-up finishes her off. Ignite goes down onto Taric, actually just about levels at Ezreal ultimate. And it looks like Probo has been found out at top. Also, we smelled a rat there. And yeah, it's just very patient, but they are actually now looking towards maybe a dive. No, Stumpy Up isn't going to be risking that. He's just going to back on out of there.
So nice play there. Jace is just going to passively walk away from this one. And he's going to go back here. Jewelbag, although I don't know if he's going to continue pushing down here and start taking some shots at the tower. I think this is a pretty good opportunity for him to go back and shop, just as Diana has as well. She comes back with nothing more than empowering her boots to level 2 with those sorcerer shoes. But right now we've got a 2-to-1 kill advantage.
And actually, you see Steve and Jewelbag fighting over the double golems here. Jace not far behind, and Sea Steve is just going to be following this up. Zigolo actually as well. 3-on-1 here for Jewel Bagel. He walks back in with the counter strike, but he's not going to be able to get out. Bandage toss onto him. Actually still alive, flashes out, and now we have Diana coming in. I'm not sure she wants to be tanking this though. Probo is out of mana, Jewel Bagel is out of mana, and they're both low. Having to flash out and just about at the right angle, but not quite able to land the bandage toss there.
Yeah, it was a very smart play, just juking a little bit to the left outside of the brush, which typically you don't want to do when you're running away, but ends up doing the right play there, dodging the banish toss from Azubu there. Actually, Draven threw in his ultimate for his 2 cents as well, which pretty much missed everything, and now he is without an ultimate, trying to defend this wave, which is pushing in here. Dejo and Shizoli pushing in. I actually really like that name. I didn't even notice it last time, but Shizoli on Lulu. And mid lane, a lot of action happening here as well. Chrysanthos going down extremely low, has that blue buff, and Zigolo being forced to go back here is going to start healing up on that platform. Seeing what he's buying, he's got a Hextech Revolver right now. Always a key item to pick up on Vladimir.
Yeah, he basically lives and dies off of this spell vamp, especially in his laning phase. And yeah, what we didn't notice actually there, I think, was Diana getting really quite aggressive, going in with the she has actually now taken Moonfall, by the way, going in with the Crescent Strike and the Lunar Rush, Moonfalling Vlad in, and he wasn't really able to match up to her sustained damage at this point. If she's constantly landing auto attacks on Vlad, he just can't match up to that. And actually, I'd like to mention right now, although I said Jace does fairly well against Jax right now actually pretty seriously out-farming Jace, and actually we have an engagement at bottom. We have Sea Steve coming in through the lane. Shizoli has been stunned again and is going to be taken down pretty quickly by Draven. Diana, however, is also coming in, and she got cried on to death. Sea Steve has blown his ultimate already. They're just going to back out. Diana not going to be looking to do anything there.
Yeah, but Sea Steve actually sticking around in this lane. Dejo is going to try to Arcane Shift away from this one, but he's going to get caught up, and he flashes away. I really do not like the exhaust coming out there from Tater Tot, or sorry, from the Taric there, as Ezreal was going to be slowed by the red buff, and if he was going to flash, he was going to get away regardless, so unless somebody flashed after him, but either way, there was going to be a slow on him, so I really don't like that play there. He could have that exhaust still online, but either way, it looks like Ezreal will get away from that one, and things a little bit in the favor here in terms of kills. Actually, speaking of kills, Chrysanthos engaging on Zigolo, and Zigolo, I think, a little bit preemptively using his ultimate, but he's going to get jumped on here. He's definitely going to go down to the Maokai and Diana combination there. Diana almost getting picked up in the fray, but not too shabby.
There's a Draven ult coming down mid. It just misses Chrysanthos. Coming back on the return, I suppose, but I don't think it would kill without a double hit anyway.
God, I love that animation. Sorry, I had to watch that the whole way through. That was pretty cool. But actually, yeah, Nick watched the whole thing too, because it's just so awesome looking.
Meanwhile, Stumpy Uppy actually at top, going in on Jax, nearly taking him out. He's burned his Ignite. Jewel Bagel just about limping out of there alive. The Shock Blast was missed by Stumpy Uppy. I wonder if he'll be kicking himself. And it wasn't flashed, it wasn't dodged. He just missed, which was a little unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's always a sad thing, especially now that his E has been nerfed. Nobody levels that thing up anymore. It's all about the Q, and if you miss that Q, that is basically the majority of your damage output as far as burst is concerned. So not bad there. It looks like bottom lane though, there's a pretty huge engagement here. Ultimate from Taric being used, and the red buff on Draven is actually not enough to allow him to push forward here, though I really would have liked to see him do that. He had a huge advantage there, and he had the slow gone down, and I believe both of them he got an auto attack off on, so not really using that to the fullest of his ability. But either way, it looks like Sea Steve coming down here. He was spotted by the ward on Dragon, and now Ezreal and Lulu taking really preemptive measures here, pushing all the way back, but Amumu is spotted in the middle of the lane, so they're going to be feeling safe enough to go up there and at least CS under their own tower. Right now, kills are the same, and but the advantage is certainly in favor of Georgia Tech, going up about 1,300 here. Sea Steve moving in, potentially looking for a gank. He was spotted yet again going up by that Dragon Ward, and note he will back off from this one. Still, though, the aggression coming out of this mid lane, and these are really the two characters to do it. You got that range sustain and harass from Vlad, and then that massive tanky melee burst from Diana. This is a really entertaining lane to watch for sure.
Yeah, I will say though, Jace is still being edged out on in terms of CS. Like, he's just slowly falling a little bit more behind as time goes on, and it's just because he can't straight up fight Jax. He can't deal with that that sustained damage. All he can really do is punt him away, and that isn't as strong, like you say, as it used to be, because he's been maxing his Q. His E no longer doing quite the degree of damage that it used to.
Yeah,
but
and
it does look like you might be getting some relief here. Maokai and Diana. Well, no, hang on, that's the wrong way around. Likely to be getting some death. Jewel able actually landing in with a third strike onto Stumpy Uppy, taking quite a bit of damage. Big, he smells a rat, though. He's probably going to want to back out.
Yeah, he's slowly just kind of moving around there. It looks like mid lane, Vlad's pushing in there, doing a really great job though. Amumu getting picked up, getting caught out here, uses his ultimate pretty aggressively there, or rather, sorry, pretty defensively, as he will try to walk away from this one. Dashing forward here for Diana, missing the Q though from a great flash from the Amumu. That might have spelled death for him. Jason looks like he's going to get caught out here by the Jax, or rather catch out the Jax, who unfortunately is going to pick up the Amumu here. Finally, Amumu goes down after the combined efforts of all three of those characters. Dual Bagel is going to get picked up in the process. Tarek picking up that kill. Provo is going to go down here as well, which is going to take an Oracles with him. Now Chrysanthos is going to try to walk away here. The speed up through that acceleration gate, but with a nice Q and a dash over the wall there, Diana will get away from this one, so great job on her part. But this is going to be the first dragon of the game here. 5-4 the kills in favor of Wentworth. Now on even terms as far as gold is concerned, but with this dragon going to go down here, it looks like Wentworth is going to take their first advantage of the game and their second advantage of the series, as game one they held it pretty successfully. If they can pick this one up though, I don't know if a poke over the wall here might be able to grab that. We'll see if Diana's going to be able to do it, and it will be a steal from Ezreal's ultimate. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, probably the most common stealing ability in the game. But, yeah, and actually Chrysanthos going straight on the Zigalo there. Baited the Moonfall though. He's still going to possibly go down here. Yeah, he's been ignited. Just going down there. I really don't know what was going through Zigalo's head there. I mean, it was pretty obvious actually that Diana was going to want to jump on him straight off the bat there. And, yeah, he walked right into it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. I think he just got a little over aggressive, or it was just kind of lapsing in judgment after that brutal steal from Ezreal, which is actually going to put his team really far in the lead at this point. As far as the advantages have been concerned all game, this is definitely the biggest one that's happened thus far, and it's 2K even on even kills they are ahead 2,000 gold. So. Pretty decent advantage now being taken back. It looked like it was going to go down there for a second, but now reestablishing themselves as being in the lead and the dominant team in this game right now for Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they are definitely opening up a bit of an advantage, but are they going to hold it? This is late game looking at time. I happen to say, actually they both have very strong late game teams. I mean, Diana is probably one of the better assassins in this game. Late game, she is very good at diving in on AoE carry and nuking them down. Draven is not very strong against her because he doesn't have an escape, and her hard CC will ignore his cleanse and will ignore tenacity as well. Sort of irrelevant. Oh wow, sorry, I didn't notice that. Zigalo actually going down to Jax at top there. Couldn't 1v1 the Grand Duelist. But anyway, as I say, Draven does do a lot of damage though, late game. I mean, he probably outdoes Ezreal in terms of damage all game, but he does that up for a degree of safety, which Ezreal obviously does have from that Arcane Shift. He's not... Arcane Shift though, he's not really going to be having to dodge anything other than immune, however. So... I don't really know, honestly, who has the better late game here. They both have some really strong ults for it. They both have some very strong duelists as well. And actually at bot right now, Tabletop goes in on to Dejo. The ultimate from Ezreal comes out, and so does CSD. His ultimate is landed. Lulu ulting herself as well. They're going to have to back out here, maybe turning this around though. CSD going quite low. Ignite goes down onto him, just about walks away with his life. Or auto attack and a Mystic Shot would have done it, but not enough. And actually now we have the Pain Drink coming in, Diana coming in, Crescent Strike, Moonfall. There's nothing for Tarek to do there, and yeah, that's done. Pretty much meaningless.
Yeah, really great engage there. And actually, Probo picking up that second Oracles, he's being really, really aggressive with it here as he's picking up yet another ward. He's going to take a Q to the face, actually an empowered Q through that acceleration gate. Right in the back of his head, and unfortunately for Dejo there, yeah, CS Steve did get away with about 120 HP, which I believe would have been done by firing off at that level 5 rank right now, dealing very close to 300 damage with one Q shot, and he does not have a Sheen right now, so that would not have been double the damage. But either way, gets away, and that's going to be still a pretty decent exchange there. Diana picks up yet another kill and moves their team even further into the lead here. 2,400 gold now, the advantage for Georgia Tech, and the jungle control being exercised here by Chrysanthos, picking up this Wraith camp for I think the third or fourth time. She's had control of that for the last little while now, and I don't think Amumu has looked at his own Wraiths for pretty much that entire time. Jax is coming down, going to attempt to steal this red buff, and CS Steve is really not going to be able to do anything about it. If he pokes his head out here, he's going to get picked up. He's going to spot Chrysanthos, but he's going to poke his head out just as the Diana was out of range there, so he will walk that Amumu back through that brush, and Jax is going to pick up the red, which is a terrible situation for Stumpy Uppy, who is going to get jumped on here. No big deal. It's going to be a ton of damage. No, the E being used there, and actually great call from Jax in not starting his stun up because he knew he was going to get knocked back, but at least forcing out that mana and forcing out that cooldown from Jace, who might potentially get turned on here under tower.
And actually now we have CST coming in from behind the tower, going in with the dive onto Jax, not really working out for him. Not going to be able to get away from CST in a hurry, but there we go, he's out. He keeps striking to a minion.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini flash that Jax carries with him, making him even more so the Grand Duelist, as he's not only able to win fights straight up more often than not, but he's able to get away from the ones that he doesn't want to be a part of. So gets away from the Amumu gank, not too bad there. Ziggalo's standing on a ward. He's going to jump in here regardless, so there's the stun coming out onto Shizoli. Dejo's going to get ulted by Vlad. Vlad's going to start focusing down Dejo. Dejo's definitely going to go down to his ultimate, and that's a double kill there for Team Wentworth, going now back, evening up these kills, still down quite a bit in gold, but they will continue to push forward here on this turret, which will certainly help them out in gaining that lead back. The Kais taking a Q to the face, but Diana not taking advantage of that, as she knew she would be jumping into 3 characters there on top of the stun that was going to come out from Tarek. So very smart decision there, just landing the Q, getting a little bit of damage there, forcing all 3 of these team members back. They're going to go and shop. This could potentially be a mid lane turret going down, but no, CS Steve on Amumu is going to come around the corner here, and yet again, it's another Wraith camp going down. Amumu, though, getting that bandage toss, make sure to clear that camp up right quick.
Yeah, and I think now we're starting to see a bit of a difference in sort of team play philosophies right now. The composition with Ezreal, with Diana, with Maokai, with Lulu, with Jax is looking for much smaller skirmishes than the Vlad and the Amumu composition they've got going on. Because of those huge AoE abilities, but because of their weaker duelists and weaker small fight engagements, and actually CST bandage tossing onto Shizoli gets turned into a squirrel for his trouble, followed by a little tombstone man. They're going to be starting to posture around Baron Dragon here. Pink ward over the wall too.
Yeah, so they're going to spot. Yeah, they're going to spot that one out. I don't know why there's another pink ward still in the kit for Lulu here, but this is going to be definitely a team fight here. Dual Bagel, definitely the character they want to be sending forward here. CSD will land the ultimate onto Dead Joe, but that's the character we wanted, but a huge ultimate from Ezreal going across 4 characters, and that's going to be, actually, Ezreal might get picked up here. He needs one more Q. There's Tarek picking up that kill. Great job chasing to the back. This is going really not the way I expected it to. Amumu got off his ultimate, but I think Ezreal's ultimate was actually a little bit better than Amumu's ult, and his follow-up damage was great. But the ace coming out here for Wentworth, picking up the Diana as that last kill. Tarek actually getting 2 of those kills. So now, but even after the full 5-for-1 exchange, they're still behind at this point. So Wentworth really needs this dragon, and I think they really need to take down a turret as well. So I'm hoping that they head bottom after this one, or at least some character does. No, they do not. They are just going to opt to go back here. Spotted by Ward, but no, RG Tater Tot and the case on Tarek here turn around, and they're going to head bottom here, hopefully able to pick up this turret to actually set themselves Actually, they're still going to be behind if they pick up this turret, so that just kind of goes to show how much they need to start picking up objectives like this.
Yes, they do in a way if they want to equalize the goal, but I've got to say, and I think they will actually be ahead in goal. No, they won't. Okay, but their team fight potential is a lot stronger right now. The way their ultimates synergize in a full 5-on-5 means that essentially those two really strong duelist characters that are going to want to focus out Draven are getting locked down by Amumu, and they're getting weakened to the point by the Vlad ultimate and the Vlad AoE damage, and the focus fire from Jace and Draven is able to take them down. Right now they don't want to be fighting 5v5s, they want to be fighting 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s. They want their CC, which is largely single or small target group focused, or to be in these single and small target group fights, essentially. So they want Jax to keep pushing top relentlessly. They want their bot lane to just keep shoving that bot lane out and have Maokai camping in the brush, actually. Or not, actually. He's going to be going for that face tank. So yeah, they essentially have a worse team fight, but if they can keep this game moving, if they can keep control of the pace of the game, such that they aren't any 5v5s, such that they only ever fight in a maximum of maybe three-man fights, their team composition will win out and they will have an advantage.
I think one of the problems, though, that we're going to be looking at here in the later stages of these team fights that are going to be coming up is the fact that there's really not a lot of tankiness here for but it looks like Jewel Bagel jumping onto CSC here. He's probably going to be able to pick up the kill in the midst of all this damage coming out. No, he won't. Great bandage toss there as well, having to pick that one up. Almost going down there, but knowing the limits, and Jax is going to get picked up by Jace, and with the help of Vlad and Amumu in the midst of all that. But the push will come forward here, but it's going to be definitely repelled at this point. Probo's going to get spotted out here by Jace, and a stun coming up from Tarek. A lot of damage going onto Deadjo, and it looks like Vlad's going to come in here, help to pick up the kill. Will he be able to pick it up through the Lulu ultimate? Oh my lord, yes he will, using that last Q. And Shirelli is being popped there as well from Lulu, is going to help them to get away here. So that's going to be another 2 kills in the favor of Wentworth. Really, really great game 2 here, as they will continue to push forward in the midst of all this this action and the pushing, the aggression, and I think the confidence coming out from Georgia Tech got a little bit too high there. Now they are down 2 characters, and this is a really nice push timing here coming out from Wentworth. And another bandage toss being landed there. Unfortunately, no ultimate to follow up, as that's really almost all of their hard CC with those 2 abilities there. Another bandage toss being landed on Jewel Bagel here, and Jax will go down. CSC takes one more auto turret attack, and he's just running around the background here. He has nowhere to go, essentially, and Zigalo is going to try to force this one out, and CSC will go down here, unfortunately, not counting out those seconds quite effectively, and Jax will pick up the kill on him with the assist from the Maokai. So kind of unfortunate timing there, but he does go down regardless, and that's another 2 kills for 1. So that exchange going a little bit more in the favor of Georgia Tech.
However, there is now the opportunity for them to make a timing push on Baron, and that's what they're going to be going for, it looks like. They're going to clear that out, I think, but with all of the enemies so low on health, I'm not sure they can contest this Baron. Chrysanthemum can tank it more or less indefinitely with the Crescendo, Pale Cascade. And yeah, they have a lot of shields and a lot of sustain. They're not taking this down very quickly though, because Deadjo jumped over the wall to deal a bit of damage to Draven.
And actually, Draven made a smart call there. He went for that red buff. He's making sure that he gets himself beefed up enough with that HP to get back into this fight, and this is going to be potentially a dead Lulu. Baron does go down here. Unfortunately, though, it goes down for Georgia Tech, as this team fight looked like it was going to go in favor of Wentworth. Amumu coming in there with a pretty decent ultimate. Robo will get picked up here. Draven really needs to be in there dealing some damage. Alas, he does not. And that exchange goes in favor of Georgia Tech picking up that Baron. So really nice play there. And definitely a good call on that one, as they, as soon as you were saying it, Georgia Tech rushed in there, took the Baron. But here we go. Tater Tot's going to get jumped on to Jack. Ezreal ultimate comes across here. This is where the last replay throws, and we are beyond that point. So beautiful, beautiful thing. The rest of the game is on the way.
Yeah, that was a strange issue. I'm not quite sure what was going on with that. And we're seeing Jewel Bagel going in on Zigalo, landing quite a few auto attacks here, and yeah, forcing the ultimate out and surviving while diving the tower. So this is what I mean though. Dual Bagel essentially there took out 2 people for free because they didn't engage in a full team fight where they could focus him down, where they could lock him down and prevent him from getting like, full flow jacks. Instead, he was simply able to take anyone out that he chose one-on-one. It looks like actually he's going for the Guardian Angel pretty shortly. He probably has enough gold for that now. Yes, he does. He's going to pick up a Guardian Angel, and that's going to make him a much more difficult presence because, as I was saying previously, in teamfights he's tended to get locked down, knocked out of these fights, made irrelevant as a result of the CC. Now they have the choice of focusing him down and then having him come back in a couple of seconds' time, or not locking him down, and then he chews up their team pretty nastily.
Yeah, that's kind of, and he's got to pick and choose his targets here. I know that Jax has a really, really good time dealing with Vlad, but what do you think about I don't know if Jax is necessarily going to be able to get off the damage he needs to do, or the Diana here, as we've seen, Sia Steve has not actually been ulting the squishy in the back, the Ezreal there, as quite as often, but yeah, I think he's doing a pretty good job at healing or just locking down the Jax and the Diana.
Yeah. And they've taken that dragon for free. Draven right now in a bit of a risky spot, and that bound is obviously going to make team fighting an unwelcome proposition, even for an advantaged team composition. Looks like they're just going to head back, possibly sacrifice that lower tower, get themselves potted up, get themselves ready for this coming fight.
Yeah, and I was mentioning this before, there's kind of way too much action for me to finish the thought, but one thing I do think that there's going to be a problem with, Moo's going to get caught out here. He's going to get right wrapped up here by Probo on Maokai, and everybody's going to jump in to get a piece of this. See if Steve gets his ultimate off, but unfortunately he will go down here, and that's going to just kind of open the door even wider now. On top of having the gold advantage and the Baron buff, they've got one character the advantage here, and that's going to be one quick tower and probably the next one. But I really want to finish this thought about the fact that while Wentworth has a very nice comp in general, the tankiness and the burstiness of those 2 melee characters is essentially saying Amumu needs to lock them down. Otherwise, they're going to be in a very, very bad position, and the squishes in the back are going to get jumped on. Like we see here, Maokai getting right on top of that Draven, who cleanses what he can, but so much CC following that up with the knock-up and the wrap. They're from Maokai. Rampage for Jewel Bagel going, picking up that kill on Tarek. That's going to be another turret gone down and that character. So it's just kind of that factory line effect that I talk about in a lot of my casts, where basically one character goes down, and if another one goes down, you can't really get your full team together. So whether you're walking out 1 at a time or 4 at a time, you're just factory lining into the enemy team, and it never ever goes well here. But all these characters are going back, kind of just trolling, as one by one the enemy team here, Wentworth, gets to spot out these characters just barely going back.
So actually Lulu, no, she's landed the little lunch, she should be okay. Popped to Shirelia's though to try and catch her, but Lulu is very difficult to chase because of that little lance effect. It's an incredibly strong slow for 2 seconds. It's not, it doesn't last that long, but it definitely takes you a little while to catch up if you've had that hit on you. So yeah, where before we were seeing these team fights going very much in the favor of the sort of AoE composition, it is now starting to get to the point where Jax is tanky enough to dive into the middle and withstand that burst. It is now starting to get to the point where Diana is tanky enough to dive into the middle and withstand that burst, and you'll actually see her build is very much backed towards that. There's no Rabadons at the moment, she's only got 276 AP, but she has Zhonya's and she has Abyssal. Zhonya's is going to help keep her alive with the armor, and the Abyssal is going to help her keep her alive with the magic resist. And actually Stumpy Uppy getting chased by Jax here. Don't think he can get away from this. Maybe he can. Actually, Amber keeps him alive. See Steve. Oh, wow, by the end of the case. Meanwhile, can't really get away. Counter-Strike goes down on him as well. And this is the thing. Jax is following this up. He gets hugified. Keeping on with the damage. See Steve is going to go down pretty shortly. So did Jewel Bagel though. And now we have Chrysanthos diving the tower. He is quite capable of taking out Tatertop, but he can't do with the tower there and the CC on him. So that was, again, like you say, factory line sort of effect where Jax just ended up chewing up a lot of people. He popped his GA, but he'll be very happy with that trade. And now we have Zigolo flashing in onto Probo, not quite taking him out. And they're pressuring his top tower.
That would have been a beautiful thing, actually. Just having that one character down, not to mention the Oracles. Just kind of a nice little benefit at this point in the game, but just having another Oracles. I believe they've already taken out 2 from that Maokai, so having that third one would just be pretty nice and allow potentially the slowdown on the Frozen Heart that's coming out on him. I don't know if he's going to be able to pick it up quite yet. Still waiting on that platform. I think he's waiting for gold for it, but either way, picking up that kill would have slowed down the pushing as well, which at this point we have 1 inhibitor down. And definitely, Georgia Tech is very aggressively looking for that second one. But even with those kills, with Jack bursting down the Jace and Israel just very sneakily picking up that kill with the ultimate, they still were not able to fully pick up a turret, which would have opened up the door for another inhibitor. And they definitely want that at this point. The game is very, very close in kills, not so close in golds, about 9k, but the later this game goes, that gap is not going to mean very much here. So
Baron has just popped up, and it looks like they have the timer on it. It looks like so did their opponents, so I'm not sure this is the best idea to be focusing this right now. They're definitely aware that their opponents are on the other side of the wall. They are going to focus it down though. CSP looking to engage, and they're backing off from Baron, and Jewel Bagel goes in, Stunlands onto 3. Diana also diving in, focusing out Draven. Draven is still going strong though, flashes over the wall to get away, and meanwhile Ezreal is actually being held back, finishing off a Mumu. Jax jumping around the place, not really able to focus anyone at the moment thanks to that ridge over the wall. Ezreal still alive as well, Diana going in, Moonfall gets duped by the pool, and Jace going man mode. Can't quite do it though, however they are still going strong. Stumpy Umpy goes down, his GA has been popped, and I don't think Draven can really fight this now. Jax is about to come in, Squirrel mode goes down as well, Stumpy Umpy can't quite fight it, Tater Tot going in, can't quite get the kill onto Diana, and now Jax is in full mill mode and has grinded. And I just got, this game has ended without a result and will now exit.
yeah, I actually think after that point, yeah, I got the same thing. I think after that point, basically, it was just a surrender vote. So
yeah, that game was definitely over. They could have pushed for the win at that point.
yeah, so I mean, either way, Nick's I think hopefully going to leave that score screen up as we, yeah, basically everyone was dead. Jace was about to die there, Draven was about to die there, and really the name of the game for that team fight was essentially those Guardian Angels. Like, everybody was getting focused down at different rates, and then those Guardian Angels, whenever somebody did actually get picked off, they just came right back, and everybody just was walking around there with next to no health. You can see 4 characters on that screen are flashing red right now, and that's basically just to show how well they team fought. Essentially, when you have a team like that, keeping all the characters just barely alive and picking up the enemy team members, that's always a good sign. Not to mention Ezreal, while he's not flashing, had his Guardian Angel removed a couple of seconds before the end of that game, so not bad. And the surrender vote did come out there at the end. We are getting confirmation, so not bad, pretty awesome. And it looks like though Georgia Tech will win that one, which basically means we're going to move on to game 3. We're going to take a commercial break, and we will see you back here in a second. We're going to